Hi everybody, it's Chef Nicole and welcome to Burger Night. Tonight I'm going to be making some delicious lamb burgers. I'm going to be showing you guys how with just a few simple spices and a really great product of ground lamb that you can make the most delicious burgers. I'm also going to be showing you a really simple side salad that you can serve along with it and a tzatziki topping that's going to go on top of this burger. Let's get started. So to start, to my 2 pounds of ground lamb, I've already added a tablespoon of cumin, and to that I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. Again, guys, you guys have seen me do this before, but if you haven't, I just have a clove of garlic. I'm going to turn it on its side, give it a little smash, and it's going to slide right out of its skin. It's going to start to release some of those delicious oils, and I'm going to chop that up. I'm just going to give both of these a good whack, and then I'm going to chop them together. There's not much to that at all. And then you just get it out of there and give it a quick little chop. And then I'm going to show you the other ingredient that I'm adding tonight, which is our nice shallots. So I'm just going to give these guys a rough chop. I do want to cut it pretty finely because I don't want anyone to bite into a big chunk of garlic. So I am just going to run my knife back and forth over my garlic. I'm going to continue to kind of scoop it back in together to make a little pile and continue to do that until it's all nice and finely chopped. And that is probably good enough right there. Okay, I'm going to scoop this up and get it into my bowl. Next up are my shallots. I've already peeled these guys and I've got them cut in half. These are kind of a little bit like a mild onion and garlic mixed together. I think they add so much great flavor. If you can't find shallots, guys, feel free to add in red onion instead, or even whatever onion you happen to have on hand. I just prefer the flavor of shallots, and I was able to pick them up, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. Just going to finely slice them across the top, and you're going to go in through the side, keeping your fingers as out of the way as possible, given that you're cutting in something that's fairly small. And then I'm just going to give it a really quick little dice. Again, I want this to be fairly fine in my burgers. I'm going to continue to work away on this, and then I'm going to show you the next seasonings we're going to be adding in. Burgers is cilantro. I know, I understand, some people love it, some people don't. There doesn't seem to be a middle ground when it comes to cilantro. So if you prefer, you can definitely go ahead and just use parsley in this part of the recipe if you want. But I love the flavor that this gives to the lamb burgers, and I love cilantro, so I'm gonna go ahead and add it in. So you go ahead and do what works at your house, and I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up really finely. So I've just taken the leaves mostly. A little bit of the stem might be in there. That's okay. I just don't want too much of the woody stems. To clean your cilantro, the most important thing you want to do is cilantro is very, very sandy. So what you want to make sure that you do is give it a really good rinse out of underwater, but you do want to make sure you dry it well on a paper towel or something. Cilantro will quickly lose its color and actually turn black if you leave it sitting in water. So just make sure that you rinse it really well. I normally rinse mine under the tap at first to rinse out all the big pieces of sand, and then I'll put it in a bowl of water and just kind of swish it around a little bit, and then that will let the sand fall to the bottom. And then I lift my cilantro out. I'm going to lift my cilantro out of the water and let all of that sand fall to the bottom, and then I'm going to be able to use it without worrying about any sandiness or grit. And then of course, if there's any black pieces or anything like that, you're going to go ahead and take those out and before you chop it up. I've chopped up my cilantro. Next up is this amazing wild oregano. I picked this up from a vendor at the Kitchener Market, so you're going to want to head down there and get this. It has such a great smell. It is just fantastic, and I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of this into this burger. This burger is not lacking in flavor whatsoever, guys. It is delicious. There goes my 2 teaspoons of that. And then I'm also going to be adding a couple of teaspoons of a steak spice. So you can use a Montreal steak spice or whatever one you have in your cupboard. This one's getting away from me a little bit. And I'm just going to add in 2 teaspoons of that. I'm only gonna add a tiny bit of salt because the steak spice, the first ingredient on it is actually salt. So have a look at your ingredients, guys, and modify where necessary so that you don't over season or it doesn't taste salty. Our salt should always just bring out the flavor of our food, but we don't want it to taste salty. So just watch any ingredients that you're using. If there's salt in it or if it has a salty flavor, then you're gonna want to adjust your seasonings for that. I have all of my ingredients in the bowl. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. That's why I'm wearing my gloves. You don't have to, you can certainly just get in here with your hands. I just find it easier for cleanup after. I'm just gonna get in here with my hands and really just kind of work into that meat. I don't wanna overwork the meat. Guys, I want a nice, tender, juicy burger. So I'm just gonna mix this till it's combined. And then I'm gonna be getting these divided into about 6 burgers. And then I'm gonna put it into a hot cast iron pan to get a really nice crust on it. You could certainly take these guys out to the grill, but today I'm just gonna look for that really nice crust on the outside of the whole burger. So that's why I'm gonna be putting mine in a cast iron pan. So what you wanna do when you're making homemade burgers, guys, you really want to press down in the middle of your burger. You want it to be a little bit lower than your outside. So what's gonna happen is when your burger cooks, it tends to puff up in the middle. And so if you don't kind of give that little indent, that's where you're gonna get kind of like those ball shaped instead of a flat burger. So what happens by putting that indent in there is that as it cooks up, it's gonna cook up nice and even. I'm gonna go ahead and form these burgers and then I'm gonna meet you over at my cast iron grill. I'm getting my burgers in my preheated cast iron pan. If you don't have a cast iron pan at home, it's totally fine. Use whatever pan you have, but you do want to preheat it. So if you need, you're using a non-stick pan, you're going to want to add just a little bit of oil to the bottom of it. Here with the cast iron, I'm not adding any oil, but you can hear that great sizzle that's happening right now. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to let these guys cook for just 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm going to give them a flip over, and I'll show you the crusty exterior that I'm looking for when I do. So you can see the great color that I've developed on the 3 burgers. I'm just going to give this last one a quick flip, and then I'm going to give it just a minute or 2 on this side, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop these into the oven to let them finish cooking. And that won't take very long at all, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And they're gonna come out juicy and delicious. I'm gonna show you the topping and the salad that's gonna go on while these cook in the oven. Today, I am just so excited to be sharing so many little tips to minimize the time that you're spending in the kitchen, prepping for dinner or other lunches, things like that. So what I thought I would show you guys is actually taking a piece of garlic that you've smashed on your cutting board like I showed you earlier, and just actually rubbing it onto the bread that you're going to be making. It adds a great garlicky flavor without any pieces of garlic. So it's a really mild flavor, but just adds a little bit extra to your bread. I've already done that with the rest of my buns that I'm going to be popping in the oven. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get those in and show you the tomatoes for the salad. I want to share this really quick, easy salad side dish that you can make. It's great with this burger. It would be great with some grilled chicken or so many other recipes that you could make. I really love this one. It's so simple, just a couple of ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to slice up the cucumber into nice cubes, and then show you a nice little trick that you can do to cut your cherry tomatoes. So what I did was I just cut the bottom off of my cucumber. Round vegetables roll around. They're a little bit hard to keep track of on the cutting board. So the best thing to do is cut the bottom off and give yourself a nice flat vegetable to work with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to, again, do the same thing. I'm going to cut across the top, and I'm going to just work my way across, and then it's going to allow me to make nice, even pieces. This right here, I'm going to cut out the seeds, because part of this cucumber I'm actually going to be using for the tzatziki sauce, and then some I'll be using for the salad. So I'm just going to cut out the seed part for the pieces I'm going to use for the tzatziki, and then for the rest of it I'm going to go ahead and use the whole thing. I could even chop this up and add it into my salad. You just want to continue to do the same thing that I already did. Like I said, I'm using this for the tzatziki sauce, so I'm going to cut it pretty thin, and then I'm going to cut it, turn it sideways, move these out of my way for a minute, and and then cut these into little small dice across the top. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. Some nice small pieces that I'm gonna add into my Greek yogurt, a squeeze of lemon juice, a clove of garlic, and that's about all I'm gonna need in my tzatziki sauce that's gonna top this flavorful burger. When you want to cut a bunch of tomatoes, the small ones, your grape tomatoes, your cherry tomatoes, this is a great tip to help you to be able to do a bunch all at once instead of having to cut one at a time. So I took 2 deli lids and put them together, stacked up all my tomatoes, and now I'm just cutting through the center, and I have now cut my whole pile of tomatoes at once. I'm just going to do that a couple more times, and I'm going to have all the tomatoes that I need for my salad. So let's see that again. One more time. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the lip of the top of your deli lid is going to be facing up, and then you're going to stack your other one on top of it upside down, and that's going to just create that space that you need. It's not squishing any of the tomatoes, and then you're going to be able to just cut them all at one time. So it's only going to take me 3 of these deli lids to cut all the tomatoes that I need for my salad. I'm just going to cut up this last one here. I also have some sun-dried tomatoes I'm going to be adding in just for a different texture. These are rolling everywhere. Maybe 3 lids and a couple extra I'm going to have to slice up by hand. I'm also going to add in a yellow tomato just to add some amazing color. And I'm going to do a really, really simple vinaigrette. I'm not going to show that to you guys on the video, but the recipe will be included as always and posted in the comments when this video goes live. So I will just get this chopped up and toss this salad together. I'm going to build the burger and the plate of salad on the side and just show you the finishing touches. I think I just have to dig in and take a bite. Oh my goodness, guys. All those flavors are so good together. The lamb is moist and juicy and has so much flavor. The tzatziki sauce adds such a nice little element of tanginess. The sun-dried tomatoes just add just a little bit of extra flavor. And those pickled red onions just put it over the top. Before I sign off and just dig into the rest of this burger, I want to remind all of you guys to head out to the Kitchener Market from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays and get so many great products from the vendors. There's so many things in season. You can find all the information on the kitchenermarket.ca website. What's in season, what vendors are at the Kitchener Market, what's happening, upcoming events that are happening as well. So head over there and get all the information. They also share any safety protocols that are in place right now. Food hall is open for takeout. There is seating set up outside for you guys to enjoy whatever you choose from the upstairs vendors. So I'm gonna dig into my burger, but I will be at the Kitchener Market on Saturdays, and I hope to see you guys there as well, picking up all of your weekly meats, produce, cheeses, and so much more. Bye for now.